Fellow AI and data analytics enthusiasts, today I want to talk about something very important that will increase your chances of getting employed in the field of AI and data analytics. And I believe this is the reason why so many of you have been having the many job rejections. And if you are able to achieve this or to implement this strategy, I believe it's going to increase your chances of getting employed. And what is this? It's about defining your ideal company avatar. What do I mean by your ideal company avatar? These are the companies or these are the characteristics or specifications you put in place in order to choose the companies that will be a good match for you. I'm going to elaborate four different characteristics that you need to put in place in order to define your ideal company avatar. So, without any further ado, let's head on. I recently wrote a blog post titled Defining Your Ideal Company Avatar. This is a blog post you can find on Graffiland's website under the free resources section. The whole goal of this blog post is to help you define your ideal company, and it's going to help you to increase your chances of getting employed. So, what are the questions you need to ask yourself when defining your ideal company avatar? Question number one: what type of companies do you want to work for? Question number two: which industry do these companies belong to? We have so many industry. Is it the health industry, the finance, education, manufacturing, e-commerce? These are some examples of companies you want to have in mind when applying for jobs. Next question is, what is the working style? So is it hybrid, remote, or the job is on site? And lastly, the company culture. So we're talking about the core values of the company, how diversified the company is. Let's dive deep into company industry. You need to understand that AI and data analytics must be applied in a context or in an industry. And there are so many industry. For example, you have health industry, you have the finance, transportation, manufacturing, e-commerce, sport, just to name a few. And a company must belong to an industry. And when defining your ideal company, you need to define the industry that you know your best, or you understand the jargons, or you understand the context of that industry. And what are the criteria, or how can you choose an industry? Most of the time, you need to leverage your previous education. For example, if you have earned a degree in biochemistry or in biology or in chemistry, probably a whole company is an ideal company for you, right? Or let's say you have earned a degree in transportation, then obviously companies that are into transportation will be an ideal company for you. So it is important to know that the industry really matters. You need to understand the context, the jargons of the industry. That is why choosing companies in a specific industry will help you streamline the companies you have to apply for. Next is the company size. Companies are of different sizes. You have very small companies, or medium companies, or large companies. And these company sizes really say a lot about the companies. So for small and medium sized companies, you can probably say they have a lot of flexibility, and there's a possibility where you could wear different hats. For example, you can be hired as a data analyst, but you find yourself doing data engineering or even data science activities. Is this what you want? Do you really want flexibility? Do you want the possibility where you could get engaged in something else? Then you should be thinking of small and medium-sized enterprises, because most of the time you can wear different hats. But for large organizations, everyone is very, very specific in what they do. Or most of the time, you're very, very specific. If you're being hired as a data analyst, you find yourself doing only data analytics activities most of the time. So there is always a pro and a con when choosing your company size. So depending on your ideal, depending on what you like, you must be able to choose the type of companies you want to work for in terms of company size. The third one is company working style. During the COVID pandemic and after and post pandemic, we have realized that most companies are now becoming flexible. So you see a job description, they'll say sometimes it's even completely remote, sometimes it's still hybrid. But we still have conventional companies or conventional jobs that they require to be on site. If, for example, you're the type that doesn't really excel when at home because you're so distracted, then choosing a remote job is not ideal for you, right? Because you will not be able to meet up. You always be distracted. So you probably want to look for job jobs that you have the opportunity to go on site. So most of it could be either hybrid or on site. If you're someone that you like your space, you can excel. You can excel alone. You can focus. You can concentrate. Then you can probably be thinking of going for remote job. So always always have in mind that the working style can really affect your productivity. So beforehand, state clearly what type of working style do you probably excel in. It is very, very important to always have a working style preference. Company culture is something most novice or young professionals underlook when choosing their companies. You don't really take the time to really search the kind of things you would like to have in a company. And this is very, very important. So, what are the kind of things you can watch out for when choosing a company in terms of culture? You probably want to know about their core values, how diversified the company is, also how they treat their employees, and what are the opportunities for growth. Some companies will just, when you are employed, you're just focused on your job. They don't give you that opportunity to grow. You don't go out for seminars. You don't do trainings. These are things you need to research about or to really specify them when attending interviews, because these are things that you might be interested in. So it is very, very important you research about company culture. So to conclude, it is very, very important that you make a good choice when choosing your companies. And answering those four questions can help you really decide which companies you can really excel. Great. So now you know how to define your ideal company by answering four key questions. So the company industry, the company size, the company working style, and the company culture. There are other things you can consider, but these are the four key things you should watch out for when choosing your ideal companies. I'm going to provide the link to this blog post in the video description, or you can head on to Graffiland's website under the free resource section and you'll find all our blog posts. If you do have any questions, if you have challenges defining your ideal company, don't hesitate. You can reach out to me and we can have a one on one tete a tete discussion on how to define your ideal company. Lastly, if you don't want to miss out on this type of videos, make sure you hit the subscription button or head on to our website under the free resource section and subscribe. Thank you.